We'll put hearts over there.
What surprised me, the camera is picking up the fan up there and not us.
It's not picking up anything. Maybe it doesn't tell exactly 7.
It only come up when somebody else is on. Somebody responded. Malky. What's in Mimi? Maybe he needs some mouse. Point and click. Go to Mimi or me. Figure it out.
He says go to stage, but I'm there already. Don't want him over here. Amy says go to stage, but that's not an option. I'm gonna get aggravated with that. Put him outside.
I tried now. Sorry. Mm-hmm. So how do I do a live at the mill?
Can I get through this, please? A live at the mill, you just go live on your phone.
Okay. Just asking.
I know, and I'm just telling you, but this is not the time. Because they can hear us. You guys can see us now? I am so sorry. This is our first time and still trying to get it figured out.
Tilt down. There you go.
Okay, thank you guys all for being here. Kelly with Rebel at Heart, Large Family Homestead, Leonard Mountain Homestead with Amy and Chris, Let's Trade Paint with Sean, thank you guys all for jumping in. I know we've already taken up 14 minutes of our time. We only get an hour because Amy and Chris with Lunar Mountain Homestead goes live at 8. So we're going to take this time and just kind of introduce ourselves and let you guys kind of know what we do here on our homestead. And you guys ask any questions that you might have of us, and we'll do our best to answer them.
Is this where I say something?
Amy wants to know, what are you eating?
Crackers. And I will have some ice cream later. I know you always give me crap about ice cream, but I want to have some cookies and cream.
And I will have my chili sucker during your live, Amy. Thanks, Kelly. Our first time, and oh my gosh, kind of embarrassing. I played around with it last night and thought we had it worked out, but for some reason I just couldn't get the welcome screen off and get us on there. I'm sure this is not the first time it'll happen. It'll be a few times before we figure it all out. But Brian and I,
I'm sure it'll be my fault.
Nope, it'll be my fault. I'm not real tech savvy, but I'll get it figured out. Glad you guys can see us now. So Brian and I, we started our YouTube channel back in January of this year. So we're going at it for about 9 months now. And we do a lot of different things on our homestead. For those that have been following along with our videos, you kind of know what kind of things that we do. We do anything from cooking, gardening, canning, we deer hunt, we fish, we process all of our own deer meat. We do DIY builds. We just finished a storage building on our Oklahoma property. There's 5 episodes to that. If for those who haven't followed along with that, it's for us. It's pretty rewarding that we have not much clue what we're doing, but it turned out fabulous.
We don't
in our eyes.
deer hunt. We dove hunt. We turkey hunt. Whatever is out there, we hunt. And we've got video and pictures of that.
We got a lot of deer hunting pictures out there in videos.
And turkey and dove.
We have a cat. That is the only animal we have. I still work part-time. Some weeks I work full-time. I work for USDA, and I am not able to have chickens. We would love to have chickens, but we cannot as long as I work for USDA.
We got a lot of neighbors, got chickens. We tell them what to do. They give us a lot of eggs.
We have three people on our road that have chickens, and we get eggs from them. We have a cat. Neither one of us really care for cats, but this cat has grown on us.
It's a dog.
It was my son's cat. When he moved out, he took the cat. He moved back in. He brought the cat back. He moved out, took the cat with him. Moved back in, brought the cat with him. My husband told him, next time you move out, the cat stays. By that time, we're already attached to it. I mean, the cat is obsessed with me. He just waits and whines, waiting for me to sit down in the recliner so he can get up in my lap. Okay, getting in my lap.
I'm glad
we would love to have
he's
goats.
done with me.
Our property, we have 15 acres in northwest Arkansas, and our property is set on hills and ravines. So we have a lot of area that we cannot mow with the tractor or the mower. And we would love to have a couple goats.
Just the tractor.
Just so we can get the goats to clean up the property. But I've got to get my fruit trees secure first before we can turn a couple of goats loose. But later on in the future, there are some animals that we want to get. But right now, we're just a cat.
Any comments?
Amy wants tamales. Hey, Amy, I tell you what. Next time I make tamales, let's do a weekend of making tamales, you and I. It's a great weekend process. It'll be fun.
Hey, Chris.
And we'll split them.
You and I, the whole weekend, they can make tamales. We go do whatever we want to do.
Amy says she's going to bring us some chickens. Large Family Homestead said, didn't know you couldn't have chickens if you work for USDA. So what I grade in my job as a USDA inspector is I grade turkeys, chickens, and eggs. So the reason behind not having chickens, and of course the eggs, but mainly the chickens, is they don't want us to carry any kind of disease from our homestead to a eggplant and possibly cause an eggplant to be shut down for some kind of virus. So when we go into a plant, we have to sanitize really good. So it is a thing. So that's where we're at with that.
Good question.
Yes, great question. Now, if we were grading like beef or pork, that would be a problem at all. And I asked the question, well, I deer hunt, so would that be a problem? And they said no. So I don't know, but we sanitize when we go into the plant, so I'm not sure why it really matters, but it's the rules. I don't want to lose my job, so. David, our neighbor, said, saw the upload. It made me question if I'm losing my hair. David, I think your hair's just fine. You have a head full.
Yeah, keep shooting your pistol.
Amy, yes, we can have pigs, but then again, we would need a good, secure fencing for pigs. And we just can't seem to get the property cleaned up between all the other projects that we have going on to focus on that. But we will someday have a couple of pigs, have a couple of goats, have some chickens.
Amy, with all the flagstone you have, we may need to do some trading.
Hey, 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒 Homestead, thanks for joining in. Hey, Jeffrey Hastings, thanks for coming in. You got Heather with you? Well, Amy, it's the way we make our income. Brian is retired, and although he has an income, we need my income too, so can't quit my job. Plus, it's got a pretty good pension and retirement package, being working for the federal government, so
no doubt.
Better stay there.
I'll eat corn nuts and do what I need to do.
I'm sorry, Large Family Homestead. I can't remember your first name. I think it starts with a B, but can you tell me what it is? Brooke, maybe? I know you're the oldest of all the kids. Hey, Heather. What other questions do you have for us? Yep, Brooke, I did get it right. I need to go watch your video, Brooke, on y'all's work schedule around the homestead. I haven't watched that yet, but that sounds exciting how it's a constant rotating every day. That would be fun and interesting.
What people don't know, Amy challenged me to wear a one-piece bikini. I will wear it if she were.
One piece is not a bikini though. But it wasn't covering much. We went to BAM Fest in July, and we went to this mercantile where we actually met Amy and Chris and a lot of other people. We met Sean and Kelly. Sean with Let's Trade Paint, Kelly with Rebel at Heart. And we went over to this mercantile, and they had these clothes on a clothing rack, and they had two matching swimsuits. Of course, they didn't cover much, but Brian was trying to get Amy and I to buy those and get in the pool in those. And I'm like, that's a negative. That's not happening. So she made a joke and said Brian should get one of them.
I'll wear one if you wear one.
Yes, Amy, send me a picture of those trees you have that you need cut down. I'll tell you if they're pines. We're going to mill some hardwoods too, but right now we're just focusing on pines. But we're not opposed to hardwoods.
Hardwood ain't out of the question if it's straight.
Yeah, got to be straight. Amy says, I am not wearing that bathing suit. I'd go to jail for exposure. Heather, you love tamales? I make pretty good tamales. I'm not bragging, it's a fact. I put lots of meat in my tamales because we eat those as a meal.
I'm not going to lie. She makes the best tamales.
Thank you, Heather. I'm glad you've been watching our videos.
Who's Heather from?
Heather and Jeff Hastings, our realtor.
Oh. Okay, great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to eat just one or two tamales, Kelly. It's my grandson, when he was 5, he's 6 now, but when he was 5, he ate 5 of them for dinner. He said, Mimi, these are the best tamales ever. I've got a video on our channel. It was one of the first few videos that we posted of me making tamales. If anybody is interested in how I make my tamales.
Our grandson didn't care if it was tamales. He just fell in love. He wanted to eat.
Heather said, you can brag. Making yummy tamales is a talent. We love y'all. Hey, Brian.
Love you, Heather.
Amy, I know you did go way back on the videos. I saw your comments today. I'm like, whoa, she said in the beginning of them. Heather, you'll have to go watch it. It's down toward the bottom of the list, but I set up some playlists to make it easier for you guys that may be interested in just cooking or just interested in canning, gardening. Just go, you can play the playlist, and it's in the food cooking playlist, so it'll make it easier to find.
Does Jeff know you look like that?
She's beautiful.
She's beautiful.
Brooke, right now, my garden space, how big is our garden space, would you say?
Oh.
It's about 12 by...
What it is now or what it's going to be?
What it is right now.
So right now we're probably a 12 by 40.
And I am in the process of ripping my garden out. We used T-post and black 7-foot netting. Well, it's run its last course. So I am ripping that out. I won't plant a fall winter garden. I'm going to get that prepped for next season.
We're brand new.
We are going to start off with, we're going to have a 10 by 20 high tunnel. And then we're going to have a 48 by 16 garden space.
We're going to do high tunnel.
High tunnel will be first, and then the garden.
Okay.
So
okay,
we have a lot of property, but like I said, we're sitting on ravines and
unlevel.
It's all unlevel. So we have to find some level ground to be able to put a garden on. And right now, this is all the space we have, without hiring somebody to come in and just completely level us off and bring in a bunch of dirt.
Well, I'm counting on my son-in-law, which we will make YouTube famous. We're not even famous, but we're going to put him on YouTube of what he does. He already put our conics in, so he's going to bring a lot of land in and put topsoil on our property, and he's going to level out our piece for the garden. And he's going to do it what Kathy wants.
And another thing with the
she
garden,
has a vision.
The garden has to be all raised beds because we live on a limestone bed and it's just complete rock. So we have to do raised beds, which I have already invested in some of those. They're not the 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒𝐃 raised beds, but they're just like that. They're not the 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒𝐃 brand, but they're just like that. They are 6 feet long, 3 feet wide, 2 feet tall. So I'll be using those plus some 5-gallon buckets for my garden next year. And right now, Amy, my garden is not doing good. The only thing really left producing in my garden, I do have some tomatoes still producing, but I don't think they'll get big enough and turn red. I've stopped watering because the weeds have taken over. But the only thing still alive and doing great are my purple sweet potatoes. And until those die off, I won't harvest those. I'm going to let them ride out as long as they will. That's the hold off on some of the pulling out the garden right now. Thank you, Amy. You're just such a sweetheart. We strive for everything. We have been, so we named ourselves Resourceful Living because our whole process when we sold our house in town and bought this property was to keep recycling our money and our resources and our assets back into the things that we wanted to do. So we lived in our camper for 3.5 years while we built a farmhouse. We built nearly every bit of this farmhouse ourselves.
Hands on.
3.5 years it took us while living in a camper on our property.
Electrical, plumbing.
Back up a little bit. But when we bought the property, it was a landfill. It had 2 mobile homes on it that were condemned that we had to park out and clear off the property. And the household trash was just enormous. And we first started clearing out a garage to store our side-by-side and our equipment in. And then we started cleaning up where we were going to build the future home. So now that we got that done, I mean, we're still doing cleanup out here. We're still trying to build up our property.
You see all this wood? You see every bit of this wood. Let me tell you, not only what you see, our neighbors seen this woman
put up every one of these boards after planing them.
She planed. Everybody had to suffer down this dirt road.
It didn't matter if it was hot, 105 degrees, or if it was 30 degrees outside. I needed to get boards planed.
She was planing boards. Every bit of this, what you guys see behind us, she planed every board. It's not tongue and groove. There's nothing perfect about anything that you see.
But it's perfect for us. And the number one thing about it probably is that we did it ourselves. We were patient and we took our time and we built it ourselves. The number 2, which probably runs a tie with number one, is we are mortgage free. As we had money, we put it into the house and bought materials. The good thing about it is we bought our property in February of 17. We started building October of 2018. And then as we had money, we put it right back into the house. But before that, we had the property logged. The money we made off logging, we turned in and had all the dirt work done. Once that was done, and we did all the other work ourselves, the cleanup part and everything. Every stitch of trash, everything. But it's just so rewarding when you can do it all yourself. And
let me tell you.
God being in our lives.
Yes.
It was completely on his timing. The money flowed in just at the right time. But then again, what I was getting at was we were ahead of COVID. Now, we got hit in the middle of the build during COVID, but we had our materials purchased before COVID.
And work-wise, I was sent home in the middle of that for a year.
A year and 4 months, I think.
A year and 4 months. I sat in the cold.
In the cold
and
in
the
this
heat
house.
In this house while we did this build.
And we were buying materials as we had money, and we were a step ahead of the prices going up. Now, we did get hit in the end and had to pay $56 for a sheet of OSB, but not very many sheets of it.
Yeah.
So we were ahead of it. And the housing market, being skyrocketed, I'll tell you, we probably got $110,000 into this home.
Let me tell you something. One thing, I tried to make her stop because I felt like she was putting a horse in front of the cart. But let me tell you,
I am a planner. I am a prepper.
This woman,
I am proactive.
She was on top of the game, and I was like, I didn't know where we were at while we were building, but my gosh, the planning, this woman, she done it all.
I just didn't want the money to get spent on something else.
She knew how
we had a house to build. I was good living in the camper, but I still wanted to, I didn't want to be 10 years still building a house. So we got it done. We did. Hey, Indiana Backyard Gardener, thanks for joining us. We love you too, Amy. Amy and Chris, you guys are the best. You have helped us so much with so many things. I'm struggling to go live tonight, and I'm texting Amy, help, and she's to the rescue. So love you guys so much, and love all of you guys. We are absolutely thrilled at our new little family, our new little community of all of our friends and all of you guys that we have gotten so close to. We still don't know everybody's first names, but we are learning, and we want to be able to call you guys by name when we see you guys pop up on our lives. And we'll get there.
How long do we have?
What's the garden item that has been the hardest to grow for you?
Oh.
Pickles, squash. We got more squash this year, Jeff, than we've gotten in the last few years because of squash bugs. But this year, I planted mint in my garden, and that helped tremendously.
We still didn't get the squash we wanted.
Didn't get the quantity or the size that we have gotten in the past when we lived in our subdivision, but I was thankful for all the squash we did get. And I just, for some reason, I didn't even plant pickles this year because I just haven't had any luck with them the last 2 years.
The tomatoes done great because of the basil.
The bell peppers did great. And planting basil in your tomato garden helps tremendously if you have a problem with tomato worms. What's the other name for them? Horned worms. We only found 3 hornworms this year, and that was toward the end when basically I was working full time for 5 weeks straight and couldn't get out to the garden.
I failed my wife on taking care of the garden.
No, you didn't. It was my fault, and you were working on other projects, and it's okay. I got a huge batch of tomatoes and bell peppers and onions, and we made a big batch of spaghetti sauce, and that was my goal.
If I get one spaghetti sauce, then that's my fault, because I know this woman can make a year's worth of spaghetti sauce.
We ended up with, like 16 or 20 quarts and pint jars. So we ended up with a lot.
That's not really a
Amy, I saw your garden where your tomatoes were growing. They look great. They're big. They're slow to turn red. I don't know if you trimmed them from the bottom or not, but that helps during the beginning stages to force the growth up. It's something you might try next year. I don't know if it's too late this year, but I saw you did have some red tomatoes coming in. That's awesome. Brooke, are you talking about our new garden? If so, I will definitely be videoing that because I'm going to be proud. So I mentioned the black netting that we have used for the last 3 years. This year, when we redo it, we're going to be using cattle panels. They are 50 inches tall, and we're going to go 75 inches tall. So we're going to cut them in half. They're 16 feet long. So we're going to be tall enough to keep the deer out, but they are going to be good and sturdy. So it'll be 16 wide and I think 48 long and 16 wide for the cattle panels plus the 10 by 20. So it's going to be close to 16 by 100. So that's all the space I have that's semi-flat that we can flatten good enough. Hey, Rainy Ridge, Eric and Tina. Thanks, you guys, for joining us. How are you guys tonight? Brooke, I have never eaten a purple sweet potato. I've heard that they're really good. I love sweet potatoes. So, I mean, how can I go wrong with a purple sweet potato?
We had a sweet potato tonight.
We ate sweet potatoes, but they weren't purple.
No.
Are they good, Brooke? So, Indiana Backyard Gardener, you started your fall winter garden.
I wish we had our high tunnel up already because I got things I want to grow, but we got so much in our project we got to clear out before that starts.
I really wanted to have a fall winter garden this year.
It ain't gonna happen.
And be able to start things in the high tunnel, but I should be able to start my starters all in the high tunnel next year. That's my goal.
That's our goal.
spaghetti squash. You know what? I would love to grow some spaghetti squash because I would love to try making spaghetti with that. I heard it's really good and healthy. I love squash, so um, I'm not opposed to that for next year. We grow a lot of hot peppers. We grow a lot of bell peppers because I use bell peppers and banana peppers in my spaghetti sauce and onions. I don't grow any greens. I don't care for them enough to grow a lot of them, but I will grow some a little bit next year for Brian. I will eat them at least one time a year.
So on a live, what you get to see is what's happening now, and you get to see what has happened in real life. But what you don't see on behind the scenes, on this dirt road, we care about everybody. We had a death on this dirt road.
Just a week and a half ago.
Just a week and a half ago, I found one of my friends dead in his backyard. So let me tell you, life is short. Life is a vapor. He's same age as I am. And the sad thing about it, I don't know if anybody could have saved him. Coroner said nobody could have saved him at what happened. But up to the point that it did happen, let me tell you, life is a vapor. We're here and we're gone. So everybody in this circle that we're talking to, I hope we can grow each other and make each other better day to day.
And yes, Indiana Gardener, it sounds like you're going to have a big spread for your garden this year for the fall. That's awesome. I love it. Celebrating Farm Life, thank you for being here. We don't care what time you pop in. We are just glad you're here. It's good to see you too. It's Mickey. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. And oh, I'm sorry. I got part of it. I can't remember your husband's name. I'm reading through the comments. I don't want to miss anybody.
We don't. We want to make sure we pick up on everybody's comments, and because we're not above anybody. We are the lowest of low. We will take care of anybody that needs help.
Yep. I have gone in and watched everybody's video that needed watch hours. I've got about 7 or 8 people on that list that I have done that for. Brian and I need watch hours too, and we need subscribers. If anybody wants to push that out, we need to set up some mods to help us out, and we'll work on that. Hey, Mountain Grandma. Thank you for joining us.
Who's our Mountain
Grandma? I've recently subscribed to her. Hornworms get quite a few of our tomatoes too, but we harvested a lot before them, so that is good. Yes.
So
basil.
Mountain Grandma, basil.
Basil.
Plant basil.
What I did was, because our tomato plants are in 5-gallon buckets, I planted some basil in every other bucket, and then I had 2 smaller pots in my area of where all my tomatoes were planted.
We've seen the results from last year, from this year, big time.
I'm talking from 100% down to like 2% this year.
Yeah.
So basil might help you. I'm not sure what area you're in, but it's worth a shot. And I harvest our basil too, and I dry it out, and I grind it up, and I cook with it.
I feel like we're warding off vampires, but she does do good with basil. Garlic is the thing with vampires. Sorry.
Jeff, we do have fruit trees. The weeds have taken over. I had them all cleaned out at the beginning of the season, and they were doing great. I have a Honeycrisp apple tree. I have a pear tree. I have a plum tree. I have a nectarine tree. I have a blueberry bush, and we have thornless blackberries
that are doing good.
And everything is thriving. Yeah. They're not thriving like I would like for them, but those trees are planted just down a hill from the garden. We did that on purpose, so as the water flows down into the garden and then flows down and waters the trees. But with that comes watering weeds. And it's just been so much. It's just hard for me to get out there and do everything.
We have not been good steward of weeds. But we have not took care of that.
And for one reason, we can't get the mower and we can't get the tractor down there. So it's literally weed eater and pulling them by hand. So we plan to do a lot of work. Our son-in-law is going to come over with an X and help us get some stuff done with that, clean that up. And I plan to fence off with an electric fence the area for the fruit trees. So I don't have to worry about deer coming in. They'll be behind an electric fence. So that will help me be able to get in there with the mower and mow. So next year, guys, I keep saying next year is going to be the year of the garden and the fruit trees. It's my goal.
And we're lucky that we have a son-in-law that has capability with heavy equipment. He'll come in with a mini X or a skid and take care of us.
Tina, if you need to bounce some things off of me, feel free. I'm no expert by any means. I'm an expert at growing weeds, but my tomatoes did great, and my bell peppers did really good. But you're welcome to bounce things off of me. There's a lot of different YouTube channels that you can bounce things off of. This year it was a learning experience for you, and next year's going to be great for you. I just know it. Absolutely, Mountain Grandma.
Rainy Ridge, what'd they say?
She was talking about her garden was a learning experience this year.
Oh, yeah.
Purple sweet potatoes are great. They are less sweet and taste closer to a regular potato. Oh, so I can get 2 greats in one, because my sweet potatoes have flourished big time, and I can't wait to see what all I'll harvest out of my pots, because they're pretty big pots. So thanks, Brooke. Looking forward to that.
Do we have a group going to Pine Fest?
Pinecone Fest. Who
Pinecone.
else going to Pinecone Fest?
Who's going? I hope we are meeting people.
We are going to Pinecone Fest. We've got our sites booked, and we are got our t-shirts. So we are absolutely going.
My t-shirt is going to take me to Pinecone Fest.
Amy, I'm sure you've already left. We'll be seeing you over in your live. If you're still here, we'll be over jumping on your live in just a few minutes.
She already said heading out.
Yep.
So we're going to jump on Leonard Mountain.
Let me go through all the messages first. Make sure I didn't miss anything.
Okay. Everybody that jumped on with us, thank you. I mean, we don't deserve anything. We appreciate everybody jumping on and giving comments, and we will take it.
Tina, I'll have to go check out your garden, how you have it all decorated. That's cool. I bought a sign the other day at a some thrift store or somewhere that says something about the garden on it that I plan to hang up for next year. Yes, Rainy Ridge, Eric and Tina, thank you guys for those prayers for our neighbor's family.
Yes.
We'll relay those to the family.
And the ones praying for my brother, thank you.
Yes, those that knew about Brian's brother had open heart surgery last week. All went well, and
He's already home.
been released from the hospital and seems to be doing well.
Yes.
Prayers, they help.
Thank you.
Bill, sorry. Because I know somebody called you William, but you said you go by Bill. Bill and Mikey. I know it's not. It's Mikey, I believe. Bill and Mikey. I'll remember that next time.
Is that
Celebrating
part
Farm
of
Life?
Leonard Mountain?
No, but she told us what their names were.
Oh, okay.
Hey Trey, our Louisiana Live. Thanks for joining in. We're going to be popping off in about a minute to go over to Amy and Chris's live. Anybody is welcome to come join us over there. We look forward to being on live with them. This was our first time to go live, and we appreciate everybody that jumped on.
Louisiana Life, I want to talk to you. You and I need to link up. So, brother, we will talk later.
Prayer Living Twins, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for being here. We'll have to get to know who you are on our next live. Sorry, it's kind of short this time, but thanks for subscribing. Mountain Grandma, you're in Missouri. Well, we're in Arkansas, so we're neighbors. Anybody else have some last minute questions for us?
1 minute. We love all of you.
Sean is going to the Pinecone Fest.
We love you. Thank you for being here.
Trey says I have his number. I'll give it to Brian so you guys can chat. Thank you guys all for being here. We're going to jump off and we'll let you know when we're going to go live again. Everybody jump over to Amy and Chris's live at Leonard Mountain Homestead.
Please. great people.
Thank you guys.